Hi, and welcome back to the Cannabis Sommelier. I'm your host, Andrew Freedman. Thanks for joining me for another episode of Cannabis and Craft Beer Pairings. I'm really excited for the beer, and I'm really excited for the extract. Great stories with both, so let's dive right in. Today, the beer I have is from Fernie Brewing Company, and it's Aussie 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 Oi-P-A. This is a limited edition release in this bomber, and I'm sure they chose the name because Fernie Alpine Resort every winter is completely invaded with Australians coming to work for the winter, enjoy the Canadian winters, and so I'm sure this beer is an ode to them. I love it. It's also filled with Enigma and Galaxy hops, which are Australian hops. Fernie Brewing Company, great brewery. They have their great big brewery and tap room right off the highway now. Put a little video in. Super easy to get to. Started in a barn and now it's just a great family run brewery. Lots of limited releases. You'll be able to find these all over Western Canada. I don't know how much Aussie Oi-P-A will be left as this one came out in April, but there should be some. So let's dive into the beer. I could smell it from back here, by the way. Very tropical. That pine resin, that mango. There's a little bit of maltiness on top, like almost frosted flakes maltiness, and the head is nice and frothy, and it's definitely a filtered beer. Nice amber color too. On the palate, nice and dry. I thought the IBUs were going to be a little bit higher. I know it noted that it was 60 IBUs. It doesn't taste that bitter to me, but it's quite refreshing. That pine resin is definitely first. Pleasant tropical flavors, pineapple. The mango is definitely number one behind the pine resin, and that maltiness I smelled, I couldn't taste at all. So quite a refreshing beer. This is a very sessionable IPA, I think. Today, the strain I've chosen to pair it with is from LTE Extracts, and this means local Tofino Extracts. So this came from Vancouver Island, from Tofino, from a great friend, and the strain inside is very interesting too. So today, the strain I chose is called Medi Kush, and Medi Kush was bred by this dude, Johnny B, and you can check Johnny B out on Pot TV YouTube channel. So Johnny B gets this strain that he absolutely loves, and it's called Christmas Kush. I guess it was just set for the head stash. It would only come around at Christmas, just covered in white trichomes, nice small buds, and he loved this strain, and he had chronic pain that he was dealing with, and one of his friends gifted him some seeds, and Medi Kush made it into the market, I guess. I believe that this is probably the legit Medi Kush strain because of who and where it came from. Local Tofino Extracts, Vancouver Island, you know. So let's give it a sniff. I like the big jar too. I wish it was full though. It's quite reminiscent actually of the forest. Again, it's got a lot of pine resin is definitely the leading thing. And then behind it is these kind of tertiary notes, almost like kind of like decaying roots, decaying leaves. It has quite this smell of the fall, but there's also this sour green apple to it that smells almost like a sour green apple jelly, and then sandalwood. Pine resin, decay, green apple, sandalwood. Sounds like a great kush to me. Haven't had a chance to try it yet, so let's do that after we pair them on the nose. Can't forget to do that. And there's a little bit more funk actually working out of this now that I smell it. Almost like I was composting tropical fruits. Like a tropical fruit fart. Wow. So smelling from the extract to the beer, it really made the pine more woodsy. It almost smelled like I was working with pieces of pine in my wood shop. Almost gave it this kind of dusty quality. Quite interesting. Didn't expect that to happen. Haven't seen that before. And from the beer to the extract, it actually eliminates that pine resin and gives it more of that green apple jelly, but it almost lends some of its tropical fruit notes from the beer to the extract. I'm really interested to see how these are gonna pair. Get a little dig out from the bottom. Try not to take too big of a dab, might get carried away. We'll see what happens. Not too big, it's good. Nice buttered consistency, came right off the bottom of that jar. I have my tube from Tank Glass, and my D-nail is set at 520. You know, and I should mention that this is rosin. This rosin has absolutely none of that perceived rosin taste to it. There's no flavor of hash here. This is true terpenes. Really, really delicious. Obviously that pine resin, a little bit of green apple jelly. That beautiful decay, I can't get over that. It feels like fall, like I'm crumpling leaves in my hands and then breathing that in through my mouth in the most refreshing, delicious way. A little bit minty, a little bit eucalyptusy, and a little bit of those tropical fruit flavors. With the beer, absolutely delicious. The perceived flavors from the rosin were elevated. That delicious fall-like tertiary flavor that I keep going back to was definitely put into its place and elevated more, easier to understand. It was very delicious, felt very much in the season, if that's a way to explain it. And the flavors together, the finish on my palate is just lingering. It is absolutely delicious and very, very enjoyable on my palate. I'm thinking about food. I'm thinking about porchetta right now. That would be great. I haven't had porchetta in a while. If you're in Calgary, you should definitely go check out Empire Provisions. They do an amazing porchetta sandwich, and that's what I'm thinking about right now. So I hope you'll make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Definitely go find some Medi Kush, especially from LTE, Local Tofino Extracts, and pick up a Aussie 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 Oi-P-A on your way out to the island when you drive through Fernie. So, until next week, cheers!